There is so much joy in my life or in our lives, and I sometimes forget about that. I sometimes forget about being so thankful for having had so much joy and still just every day it's there. So the Joy series actually started off as not so much, as a very personal series. It started off something that was not joy at all. My husband of 50 years passed away, and I had a very tough time working glass. I would look at glass and the colors were just, I just could not work with color. So then I remembered part of my life that we shared and decided I can do this. I can overcome this sadness and celebrate, because I often use glass as celebration. And so I started to work with clear glass because I just could not stand. And as I worked with clear glass, I could not stand the idea of rigidity in glass at that time. And I focused on a very organic approach because it was more intuitive to me. I liked the rough edges because they reminded me of myself, that I had at the moment very many rough edges that I need to work on and smooth out. So I started with the Joy series that at the beginning it had very simple lines, but always organic lines. And this is one of the earlier themes that included blue. I included, I think, intuitively blue because blue is not only a calming color, but blue is also a color for me that reminds me of all the wonderful things in my life. And also I've always lived on the water, at the water. I grew up in Germany at the Baltic, on the Baltic. I later on moved to South Africa. I lived first on the Atlantic side and then on the Pacific side. The Indian Ocean side. After that, coming to North Carolina, I now live on Bogue Sound on the water. My workbench overlooks the water, and that's when I came back to the series of Joy with regards to blue and showing the water. Somewhere in between were years living on a sailboat. So Joy to me is really a roundup of part of my life, and it has to be organic. It has to include now pops of color. In the earlier pieces, there were no pops of color, but here the spring green in the blue shows to me that, hey, I can do this. We all can do this. And when I think about it, it's an inspiration, or to me, it's a signal of hope that we can do whatever we really try very hard to do. And I try to express that in my glass, that yes, there are holes. And if you look at this, there is a focus in the top right corner. There's always a source that either gives us hope or draws us in. So in a lot of pieces, you see a lot of the organic pieces like that do not have a theme of a culture, but that have a theme of feelings. You see that it's focused in one corner or in one specific spot, and to me that really shows where I'm drawn into or where I receive something out of. And therefore I call this joy.